Alright, so tonight we're going to do some Aesop's Fables. Start with the wolves and the sheep. Why should there always be fear between wolves and the sheep? Said the wolves to the sheep, those dogs have much to answer for. They are always barking when we come near, and they attack us but before we do anything. If you would only dismiss them from your heels, there might soon be a treaty of peace and reconciliation between us. The sheep, poor silly creatures, were easily tricked and sent the dogs away, whereupon the wolves destroyed the unguarded flock at their own pleasure. Uh-oh. So that one doesn't have a moral, but you can figure it out all by yourself, I suppose. This next one is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Have you heard that one before?
No.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Once upon a time, a wolf resolved to disguise his appearance in order to secure food more easily. Encased in the skin of a sheep, he pastured with the flock, deceiving the shepherd by his costume. In the evening, he was shut up by the shepherd in the fold. The gate was closed and the entrance made thoroughly secure. But the shepherd, returning to the fold during the night to obtain meat for the next day, mistakenly caught up the wolf instead of a sheep and killed him instantly. Oh man, so it didn't work. Now, here's the shepherd's boy and the wolf. A shepherd boy, who watched a flock of sheep near a village, brought out the villagers 3 or 4 times by crying out, "Wolf, wolf!" And when his neighbors came to help him, laughed at them for their pains. Ha ha ha! The wolf, however, did truly come at last. The shepherd boy, now really scared, shouted out in terror, "Pray come and help me! The wolf is killing the sheep!" But no one paid any heed to his cries, nor rendered any assistance. The wolf, having no cause of fear, at his leisure captured the whole flock. This one has a moral. There's no believing a liar, even when he speaks the truth. Alright, now we're moving on to foxes. The fox and the crow. A crow, having stolen a bit of food, perched in a tree and held it in her beak. A fox, seeing this, longed to possess the meat himself, and by a wily stratagem succeeded. "How handsome is the crow!" he exclaimed, "in the beauty of her shape, and in the fairness of her complexion. Oh, if her voice were only equal to her beauty, she would deservedly be considered the queen of birds." This he said deceitfully, but the crow, anxious to refute the reflection cast upon her voice, set up a loud caw and dropped the flesh. The fox quickly picked it up and thus addressed the crow, "My good crow, your voice is right enough, but your wit is wanting." It was trickery, huh? Oh, the mice had a meeting. This is about the cat. The mice summoned a council to decide how they might best devise a means of warning themselves of the approach of their great enemy. Who's the enemy of the mice?
The cat.
Yes, the cat. Among the many plans, the one that found most favor was the proposal to tie a bell to the neck of the cat, so that the mice, being warned by the sound of the tinkling, might run away and hide themselves in their holes at his approach. But when the mice further debated who among them should thus bell the cat, there was no one found to do it. Well, it's easier to say bell the cat than to actually do it. Maybe you could do it when it's asleep. This next one is called A Boy Bathing. Oh, he's swimming, though, really. A boy swimming in a river was in danger of being drowned. He called out to a passing traveler for help, but instead of holding out a helping hand, the man stood by and scolded the boy for his imprudence. "Oh, sir," cried the youth, "help me now and scold me afterwards." Oh, and the moral for this one is that advice without help is useless. Alright, we're back to animals here. So this next one is the fox and the grapes. A hungry fox saw some ripe black grapes hanging from a vine. She resorted to all her tricks to get at them, but she wasn't able to get them. She could not reach them. So at last she turned away, hiding her disappointment, saying, "Those grapes are sour and not ripe as I thought they were." Oh, and I think this is the last one. The town mouse and the country mouse. Okay, so you have 2 mice. One lives in the town and one lives in the country. A country mouse invited a town mouse, a friend of his, to pay him a visit and partake of his country fare. As they were on the bare ploughlands, Eating there, roots pulled up from the hedgerow, the town mouse said to his friend, "You live here the life of the ants. You hardly have any food at all. Well, in my house there is a horn of plenty. We have all kinds of food. I am surrounded by every luxury, and if you will come with me, as I wish you would, you shall have an ample share of my bounty." The country mouse was easily persuaded and returned to town with his friend. On his arrival, the town mouse placed before him bread, barley, beans, figs, honey, raisins, and last of all, a bit of cheese from a basket. The country mouse was delighted at the sight of such good cheer, and expressed his satisfaction and lamented his own hard fate. Just as they were beginning to eat, someone opened the door, and they both ran off squeaking as fast as they could to a hole so narrow that two could only find room in it by squeezing together. They had scarcely begun their meal again when someone else entered to take something out of a cupboard. Then the two mice, more frightened than before, ran away and hid themselves. At last the country mouse, very hungry, said to his friend, "Although you've prepared for me a very dainty feast, I must leave you to enjoy it by yourself. It is surrounded by too many dangers to please me. I prefer my bare plowlands and roots from the hedgerow, where I can live in safety and without fear." All right, so that was a few Aesop's fables.